We're gonna run this, just a few minutes, just for you to get a feel of the structures. This is actually the typical Abakaliki sedimentary structures gathered from, got all these pictures from the Lead-Zinc mine within the states. Yeah? Have you been to the Lead-Zinc mine? Any of the Lead-Zinc mine? Okay. Now I will show you some few pictures we gathered, and it's very important because we saw some exciting structures, sedimentary structures within some of this mine. And these are some of the structures that when you see, you understand, it shows you, most of the locations are difficult for people to understand where and where to go because most of the people mining in this area are artisanal miners. They are lower scale miners. Most of them, they don't do all the whole geological and geophysical exploration. They go by science, by what they see. Trying to say. Um, if you look at these pictures now, definitely, what are you seeing? You can see the water. Most of the pits you see that they mine lead and zinc. Typically, this is the kind of color you see. These are some of the places they took us to. But when we look at the walls start telling you stories that there's a possibility of activities here. Now, if you look at any wall that is lying horizontally without any disturbance, it means that there's no deformation activities. And the deformation activities brings in what? Brings in traps. If you look at here, at this particular location now, you can see that there's a kind of uplift from here. Hmm? So definitely there's something happening there. And this uplift, if you look at what is within the center of this, uh, what do you think? You find out that the color is actually quite different from what you are seeing here. At this particular location, the color is different. Then if you look at this particular location also, we make inquiries. When we made inquiry along this location, this guy had made a lot of harvest in a kind of mine. He had mined a lot of ores within this location and within here. If you look at this, we can see that there's a very typical uplift here. Then look at here also. There is a structure here. This is a vein. Here. Now we are looking at when we got here, we are looking at a kind of north-south direction. You understand? So there are pores along this line, and you can see that this block is also faulted. But it's not actually. You can see that this is like a faulted block. This is lower than this. Hmm? Now let's go further. We actually try to look at other sedimentary structures at this location. Also, we're able to observe a kind of deep, deep in um, this is a kind of dipping body along this region. Most of the time, the body is dipping, not necessarily in the way the minerals are actually going. What is actually hosting the this thing. Now, what is actually this telling you? Now, I've noticed that in the entire Abakaliki, um, let's zinc mine, definitely you will see that the beddings are cross-bedded, they are dipping, they are deformed. So you see a kind of an interesting fractures. You see faults. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you are in a mine that, if you've gone to any pit or a mine and you look at most of the pits and you don't see any deformation activities, you don't see dipping, you don't see fracture, you don't see faulting, you're not seeing folding, that is actually telling you that typically the place is not actually deformed to the extent that you could actually have a place like fluidic acid. Now, and this, most of them, you find out that yeah, you see their angles at about 45. They look at this also. Look at this picture now. Are you seeing there is a kind of a lithological boundary between this and this? And this particular location is where the the minerals are actually trapped. This is looking north-south direction. This particular location looking north direction. This is the other one I showed you before. The deep. You understand? Now, if you look at this, and this particular location, they are not the same color. Is that not? This is typical shale. This is like you are still having a kind of a weathered, a kind of shale clay here, but there are some intercalations. You get what I'm saying? So at this particular zone, we found out that there's a typical lithological boundary here that is not actually aligning, yeah, with this. This seems to be more of horizontal. Why this seems to be actually hmm? So that is it. And also look at the top. Again, most of the time you might not see this at the top until you open up or you see an outcrop. You see how the top is actually looking laterite. The lateritic zone is usually about 3, 4 meters or 5 meters. You get? So the lateritic zone here, you might not start seeing all these structures until you pass the lateritic zone. That's why it's very important that if there is any place that you see exposure, it helps you to actually observe what is actually happening within that area. Hmm? So if the entire area is actually, as you are going down, is actually horizontally laid. Remember the laws of original horizontality, showing you that, telling you that every bed is actually laid horizontally before it is actually deformed. Why are we actually interested in some of these structures? Is because we believe that when these structures happen, hydrothermal fluid can actually be accumulated within the formed traps. You get it? So that is just the digs within that. Then if you look at this also, you can see kind of a fold in here. You can see another structure here. You can see this side, a fold in here. You can see a typical fold in this particular place. So, and you can see you are not seeing this no more horizontally laid again. Are you see what I'm saying? There's a folding, typical folding at this particular region. Some places you find out that the folding are very, very conspicuous. So look at this. This is at almost about 5 meters or thereabouts. That we're able to see this. You know, see it here again. You can see. And you see folding, and you can see that the typical. I think there is a kind of um, you see that these are different kind of things is folded into this way, and you can see this way. I think this there's a very clear demarcation along this line. So this most of the places that you are going to get interesting results. Try to look at some of these sedimentary structures, typically from the walls of the pits. So you can start telling you stories about that particular location. There's some places that you wouldn't see because it is within these fractured zones and fissile shield that you start seeing some infills. But another thing that is very important is to understand that if these fractures, depending on how they are enlarged and all that. But one thing with shale is that because of hydraulic fracturing easily occurred in shale than any other than typical sandstone. So shale becomes a better host for some of these here than in any other rock. That thing you see is very typical in this kind of location. What is this? This fossil shales, riverbeds. That's why you can see spotted life actually. You understand? With the typical sedimentary structures, kind of fossil shales seen around some use. So that is just what you can see. This was actually taken from one of the best points somewhere yeah, in Abakaliki here. So that is just it. Now, if you have any questions.